Yo, what's up, everybody? Brent here. I think right now we're streaming on X and then also to the Telegram channel, Boss Man Calls. I think there's 30 people watching from there. What's up, everybody? If you're not already, before we get started, definitely check out Boss Man Calls Telegram channel in the bio. Am I sharing my screen right now? I am. Okay, perfect. In my bio, in my Twitter. Obviously spend a lot of time on X, but that's where I post everything first, more in-depth, trade setups, all that good stuff, as well as obviously Bossman as well. So shout out to everybody in the Telegram channel. Shout out to everybody on X. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Thought we're gonna do this stream earlier, but was working out some things on EV Mux, the streaming thing we were streaming on. So doing it later today. Well, we're gonna look at some charts. Gonna talk about some plays that I think are gonna do really well going into this next bull market. We're gonna talk about whether I think crypto has bottomed and why this 82K level on Bitcoin is actually very important. If we look historically at past bear markets, which we will later on. Some really interesting plays on Robinhood. I thought for a while that Solana and Ethereum, ETH Layer 1, were probably going to continue to be the two dominant places for meme coins. But I've become a real believer in the last few months that Robinhood is going to be a place where most meme coin trading and a lot of just like retail trading in general is going to land. And we're going to look at some plays right now that I think are super undervalued, some super low cap coins that I think belong to some like real key infrastructure in the Robinhood, Robinhood ecosystem, not just meme coins, but they have like kind of meme coin type upside, but are actually coins that are attached to real key pieces of Robinhood. Talking about like the dexes and the liquidity stuff in kind of the background. We'll be talking about that and a lot of other good stuff. We're gonna do a giveaway at the end of the stream as well to the people, to the comments from the comments of this post right here, the stream post. If you're in the Telegram, it's the link that I posted in the Telegram. I'm gonna pick a winner for $100, 100 USDC from the comments of this. So if you want to enter into that, make sure you comment on this post. But anyway, hope everybody's having a great week. Hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. I'll be checking the chat as well. If you're in the Telegram, definitely can watch from there, just the same as X. But if you want to participate in the chat, have any questions, chart requests, just want to say what's up, definitely join the X chat. Let's go ahead and check. So far, we got Javi, what's up? Kate, Kaj, hope everyone's doing well. I know a lot of people in Europe are asleep. People in the US are, getting ready for their Friday night. So I appreciate everybody for hanging out with me for a bit. But what's up, Onyx? Last few days since we've been streaming, I've been trading a lot of perps again this last couple of weeks. Again, in the Telegram and on X, posted this long setup on Sol specifically. That's kind of what I was focusing on a lot the last few weeks. Talking about how back when we were at $73, that this nice corrective setup was telling me that we'd probably get a move up to $85, $90, $95 in the next couple weeks. Obviously, I wasn't expecting to happen in 2 or 3 days after this post, but nice to see it happen so quick. So, been doing a lot of perps, and this BNB along SpaceX, all three have kind of hit my profit targets. And now kind of where we're at here on Bitcoin is we're approaching a very important level if we look at historic bear markets, which I think everybody should be doing, looking at these higher time frame charts, because bear markets of the past never play out the exact same, but a lot of this behavior you'll see will look pretty similar. But anyway, Bitcoin, the thing that kind of confirmed the new bull market, the last two bear markets, at the end of the last two bear markets was a close above the prior lower high of that bear market. So here in 2019, it made a lower high or a bounce, I like to call it, came down. And once it closed above that bounce at 10,000 here in October of 2020, that confirmed the bull market. We went to new all-time highs. Same thing here in 2023. Once it closed above this prior bounce high at 24K, it came up, kind of consolidated above it for another 6 months, but then went to all-time highs. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting right at that same level. That kind of confirmed the bull market the last two times. Again, that 82K level here. Let me zoom in a little bit, remove this box so it's a little bit easier to see. But as you can see, this 82K level. So I think one of two things is going to happen here. I think at around 80 to 85, I don't think it's going to, it never reacts right at the exact high. Like it'll probably play around below or right above. But I think if we close above and just smash right through this high on this next move up, I think Bitcoin could teleport to 90, 95 and go to all-time highs. Again, based on the last 2 or 3 bull markets. But at the same token, again, if we came up to 84, 85K, saw some consolidation, maybe we do something like Benjamin Cohen, which again has been more on point than anybody as far as price action the last, several months. He's still leaning towards that, like the last few midterm election years, that we will come down one more time. I'm open to both scenarios. I think there's about 50-50. I could see literally either one playing out. I'm just trading as far as perps go and just playing the setups that I'm seeing. And I think there's probably a higher chance at this point that we do continue on to all. I would probably about 60% chance that I think we do see some type of local top and at least a retest of 64, 65K. But again, if we just smash right through here at 90K, I'm fully prepared for the new bull markets to start right now. I've been DCAing again for the last 7 or 8 or 9 months, and I'd love nothing more for the bull market to start now. But like we've seen the last few years, anything can happen. I'm also fully prepared for it to go down to 50K one more time. All that would mean is we'd just be waiting a little bit longer. But I think if you zoom out, you look at everything going on, Clarity Act, what's happening on Robinhood Chain, so much other great shit that I think 2027, 2028 is going to be an extremely bullish couple years, I think. Could even extend even longer. So again, if you're just hopping in, hope everybody's having a good weekend. We're just looking at some charts right now, talking about how this 82K level on Bitcoin, I think, is very important. And we're either going to see it smash right through and confirm kind of the new bull market, I think, or around this area between 80 and 90K could put in a potential top. What will be the catalyst of that top? I have no idea. Just going based off of historical bear markets and these certain levels, as well as past midterm years, which I think the last 3 or 4 midterm elections, it was a bearish year for risk assets. So we'll be watching that level. But in the very short term, I think Bitcoin is starting what is probably a bigger correction for the next couple days or potentially a couple weeks. I think this top that we held here for 3 or 4 days is going to produce a bigger kind of correction like I have drawn out here. And in this scenario, what I'm going to continue doing is just buying some of these coins we're going to go over here in a second, and then looking to get into a long position here on Hyperliquid, which I am long Sol from $72. Around 73, I think my average is around $77. Same thing here, I'd be looking to get into a bigger long position, but I think the downside is not yet over for the majors, and we could be chopping around here maybe in this kind of corrective structure here for a couple weeks, or anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks. If we come down here hard under 70K, to expect some people to kind of panic and question if the bull market is, if we are still in a bear market and all that. But I think we do very likely are just starting a correction, and we probably do move higher at least one more time to that 82K level. So that's kind of how I'm playing it. Again, I think charts in the short term are probably pointing to a bigger correction over the next few days to a few weeks. But I think over the next few month or so that we probably do move higher. But yeah, again, the next few months, the way I'm looking at it is just noise. Whether we do confirm a new bull market and just fucking, pump straight to 92, 93, 100K, or we kind of play around here, come down to 60 one more time, maybe even come down to 50. I think what comes on the other side of this bear market is going to be super powerful. I think really love what's happening on Robinhood Chain right now. I think there's some coins below 5 million, even between 1 and 2 right now, that have the potential to go to 10, 20, 100 million because they are connected to some of the key pieces or infrastructure in the Robinhood chain, which we'll go over here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and check the chat here. We got a few people saying what's up. What's up? Hello from the UK. I appreciate it, Danny. Appreciate the words. What time frame? SPX 6900. Fuck yeah, Jared. We're going to go over SPX and kind of the 3 or 4 sectors that I'm pretty fucking bullish on going into this next bull market. I don't think an immediate bull will come from this recent one. Interesting. Let me know in the chat a few things. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know whether you think the bull market has started. Do you think we top out coming down one more time? Let me know in the chat. If you guys could like, comment, share the stream. Appreciate you spending your Friday afternoon, night with me. Again, we're just looking at some charts. Going to go over some other plays here in a second. If you have any questions, comments, definitely leave it in the chat. We are streaming on the Telegram as well, the Boss Man Calls Telegram channel. If you guys haven't joined that, it's a free Telegram channel that myself and Boss Man have been posting in, or working together in for the last 3 years now almost, which is crazy. Free giveaways, analysis, live streams, all that good stuff in there as well. Check that out. But what's up, Destiny? What's up, Mew? Spooky? Give me 1 second here. Right. But yeah, also giveaway, end of the stream. From the comments of this chat, we got 21 comments in here, 21 people. Appreciate it. What's up, Shakers? What's up, Ahmad? Only Mew. Again, let me know in the chat or in the comments of this stream if you somehow can't join the chat, where you're tuning in from, whether this is your first time in the stream, and then whether you're bullish over the next few months, you think Bitcoin comes down one more time. What's the deal? Again, I'm pretty bullish on the next few weeks. I think we could come down a bit more. Next few days, next few weeks, I think we move higher. Next few months, really got to see what happens around this 85K level. Next few years, I'm extremely bullish. I think Bitcoin smashes all-time highs, obviously. I think that's kind of a no-brainer, but I think this time has a chance to really even be more parabolic than the last cycle because we have adoption on 2 fronts, right? We have, obviously, the institutions. We have the SEC, the CFTC, all these big institutional regulators saying that they're going to move all markets on chain, including the stock market, bonds, collectibles, all this different stuff. It's going to move on chain. And then you have so obviously institutional capital, which is the most money. And then you have retail, right? Who's really, the average person is really into sports betting, speculation, slots. And that, you have FOMO and the Pump Fund app, all this stuff that makes these easy for these people to trade. You have those two things together. I think it creates not only a probably more powerful bull market than we saw this last bull market, but probably one that's more sustainable because there's actual technology that's being built, real institutional capital. It's not just like a quick speculative bubble. I'm sure there will be bubbles, which we'll talk about, a real institution or retail kind of coming in for the first time since 2021, 2022. But I think it's going to be more sustainable this time. So again, the way I'm thinking about it, whether the bottom's in right now, we go straight to fucking 100K, or we come down 50K, it doesn't really matter to me. I welcome both scenarios. I'd love for the bull market to start right now in the next couple weeks, or confirm that it started right now. But I wouldn't mind a move down to 50K and we're able to short it and accumulate some more of these plays. I'm ready for either one. So again, it could go either way. We really just got to see what happens over the next few weeks between 80 and 90K. But super short term, I think we chop down. Short term, next few weeks, I think we go up though. Once more. Nigeria, what's up, Danny? Ben Cohen, always watch him. Yeah, Ben's great. We'll go over what kind of he's been talking about the last few weeks. Hope everyone has a good weekend from South Carolina. Wow, shout out to you, man. I have some friends that live out in South Carolina. My producer and good buddy also lives in Kentucky, which is definitely not. Is definitely closer to you. Everyone, yeah. Freedom Jack. Everyone thinks the bull hasn't started, and that's exactly why it has started. That's a good point, Jack. Most of the time at the bottoms, almost nobody is expecting it started. It's like the times that everybody thinks the bull market started, probably most obvious example back in I remember 2018. Bitcoin topped out at 20K and went down to 3K and came all the way back to 14K. Everybody thought the bull market started at that point, right? Bitcoin was like 50% from its all-time high. And then it managed, right when COVID kind of started, or right around that time, a little bit before it, managed to come back all the way down to 3K one more time. So yeah, you're right. Most of the time when the bull market has started, very few people at the bottom are expecting it, and even very few times after. I remember a lot of people were thinking we're going to come down again, and then they started stimulus and it just took off. So you're right. I'm welcoming both scenarios. I think there's so much positive shit happening. I think the Clarity Act, which we'll talk about here on Polymarket. Here, I have to turn on my VPN, I think. For Polymarket, though, they still have the what's it called, Clarity Act at 14%, but there's a vote scheduled for there's a vote scheduled for the 15th. So yeah, I don't know if you're a betting person, you want to get the 5-6x chance if they somehow do pass this in December or this year. There's a 15% chance that they're putting it on Polymarket, but I think on this next vote, from what I heard, they are going to vote on it on the 15th. So we'll see what happens there. The Clarity Act. But I think what's being built on Robinhood Chain is very, very interesting. Obviously, you have Cash Cat and some of these meme coins that have really ran, and that's obviously why a lot of people are on Robinhood, and like rightfully so, right? Most of us here. It's annoying. I have to turn off my VPN now. Most of these, the attention is people trying to make money on the meme coins, which is great. That's where a lot of my focus is too, a lot of the time. But there is, like, obviously Cash Cow, we'll look at that. Obviously ran like crazy. I missed kind of the first run, started accumulating a lot more down here, probably right around 75K. I have not sold any. I think it's going to go, well, I actually took like 15% off at like a 3X right around here, but I'm holding the rest, even if it does kind of come down with the rest of crypto. I think this is I'm really a big believer in Robinhood kind of becoming the kind of retail chain, which is a big thing when those kind of guys come back. But I think where it's a lot of meme coin volume is going to land just in the CT kind of crypto Twitter world, because I think Ethereum is obviously where a lot of the capital in crypto lies. And now finally we have a L2 that is both usable and is really like smooth, but also has people like it, and the UI is great, and there's a lot of good branding behind it. Obviously you have Robinhood Exchange and all this stuff. So I think it was always, eventually most of the meme coin volume was always going to land on an ETH L2, but I think this is finally the one. But Cash Cat, I think is going to, maybe if it even comes down to even the low 100s, that's probably a really good area to buy. But I think if this goes to 500 million, eventually a billion, if things get really crazy, retail mania in the multiple billions. But I really like Cash Cat here, especially if it goes into the low hundreds. You got Tendies. Tendies, obviously, same kind of thing. I think it's really set up for if there's any type of retail mania. Tendies was a big kind of meme, obviously, in the Robinhood GME kind of days. And I think this, even though this is a lot of consolidation, I don't really like when something consolidates for a month and a half on a meme coin. But if it's able to chop out here and break towards 25K, once we break above here, I think this one also is primed to run pretty hard. But my whole point is I really do believe in the Robinhood meme coins, and that's where a lot of the capital is going to be. But I think there's some even better opportunities in some of these infrastructure plays. And I know that sounds boring to people, like, oh, most of the time utility or infrastructure plays like don't do well in crypto. But if you've been on Twitter lately, you guys have probably seen me talk a lot about stockbrokers. And I'm really bullish on the NFT. I think it's really cool how it pays you, in stocks and all this stuff. And, I think there's a lot of upside. But the reason I'm such a big believer in it is because the guy, Simple Farmer, behind it, connects the stockbroker NFT and the coin, which are both kind of intertwined through this thing called the Anvil. He connects it essentially to everything he's building. So his main goal, really not rant too hard on it, his main goal is to make crypto a more fair place for everybody, to make it, to build things in crypto that make it easier for the average person to succeed and make it harder for bundlers, snipers, all these different things to take advantage of people and to fuck people and do all this shit, right? So he's built, a stonk launcher, which essentially is like a pump fund for Robinhood, which essentially has this 99% snipe tax, all these things that make it fair for the average person to trade and make fair launches. Building all these special projects where essentially there's projects connected to it, like Mansers, where essentially it's like they're incubating these projects where and kind of trying to become like a Y Combinator and all these different things essentially that you can kind of look into, but they're all connected to the stockbroker NFT, right? Which is feeding back into the value of the NFT. And that's why you saw it go to 10 ETH so fast, is because it's connected to everything that he's building. And I'm saying this to say that there's actually a lot of these infrastructure plays, which we're going to go over right now, that are under like 1 to 5 million. A lot of them are between 1 and 2 million right now, that I think not only have the chance to run to 10, 20, 50, but if they do become key pieces of infrastructure in Robinhood, then I think these things could go much, much higher. We're talking, 100, 200, stuff like that. The first one, which I'll go over kind of quickly, is Manser. Essentially, Manser launched first as a special project, like I was talking about on stockbrokers. So essentially, all the stockbroker NFTs, they got airdropped a certain amount of this Manser token and the NFT, or like got to mint the NFT. And essentially, for those of you guys who don't know how this works, the Manser NFT, essentially, I think it gives, if you have the Manser NFT, you get 0 fees on the app. Manser is trying to become the Jupiter of Robinhood, right? So it's like a DEX. They're about to launch for the public, but essentially these NFTs, which they launched with, you get a small percentage of the actual fees generated on the DEX, right? So right now these things are half an ETH, which are 1,500, but you can imagine if this does become the Jupiter of Robinhood, you get a small percentage of those fees, even a small percentage of those total fees. You get paid a lot of money. These things could be worth a lot. So this is one of them. This is the token that's attached to it. And again, I don't want to bore you guys too much and go in this. I could talk about this thing for an hour, but essentially this technology that the stockbrokers built and in Simple Farmer built connects the NFT and the token directly one to one. So they have this thing called the anvil, which you can at any time exchange 66,666 stockbroker token for an NFT, a stockbroker in one of these anvils, and vice versa. You can sell that stockbroker NFT for 66,666 forever. So it gives liquidity to every single NFT in the collection. So when the NFT goes up, the coin goes up, and vice versa. This is like the first time where this is actually kind of been a thing for the most part. I think some of these did other NFTs or other ones did something similar. But essentially, you can think of this as the Jupiter of Robinhood. If it becomes the top DEX or even 2, 3, top 5 DEX, you can imagine the NFT and the token could be worth a lot more. I mean, you look at the Jupiter token itself, right? You know, it hasn't done shit in years. It's been down. You know, I haven't even looked at this thing. Yeah, I mean, it's down. It eventually, at one point, geez, dude. And at one point it was at 13 billion, down at 1 billion now. But this is down 90% and it's at 1 billion. You can imagine if Robinhood Chain becomes even half of kind of what I'm hyping it up to be, something like Manser, you know, right now it's at 1 million. You know, Jupiter at its peak was at, I think, what is that, a 10,000x higher than it is now, or 1,000x? So, no, yeah, it's a, okay. It's actually, yeah, it's a 10,000x, about. It's like a 5,000x from here. So, I don't know. Manser, I would really keep an eye on it. I'm going to be buying more. I should have bought some of the NFTs. I probably still should. I think this runs way higher. I think a conservative target of 10 million if you're just trying to trade it. But I'm going to be buying a lot of this and holding it for probably, you know, potential of a lot higher, 100 million plus, maybe even upside of 1 billion someday if it does become a large DEX on Robinhood, which I think it has a chance to. So next one, the obvious one and the one that I have the most conviction in is stockbroker token. You know, if you don't have, I'm a big believer in the NFT. I think that, you know, that NFT is going to produce right now, for example, I hope my computer's not lagging out. They're building an NFT project where they're building this kind of game together, and everybody who has a stockbroker is getting like an airdrop of that. Stuff like that. I think the NFTs themselves are going to be worth hundreds of thousands, potentially way more someday because of the value that it's going to drop to the holder per month. But in that world, I think the token at 25 million, 40 million FDV is extremely low as well. I think this has, you know, conservative target of 100 million. I think this easily goes back to all-time highs. Again, that's only a 2x from here, but I think it's also a coin that has 500 million, 1 billion potential if, you know, it does even 25% of what I think stockbrokers has potential to do. I think this is a whole new concept. I would really look into what they're doing if you're not even interested in stockbroker or the coin itself, which I think has a lot of upside. Look into the technology itself and how the NFTs themselves have wallets that, and essentially there's just a lot of cool stuff that they're doing that I think is the future of how crypto is going to be used by everybody for the most part. I think companies are going to be able to attach their revenue to NFTs and coins and all this stuff using this kind of technology that they're building. So in that world, when that technology is used by a lot of people, I think just that alone is going to make the stockbroker NFT, which again, the coin is directly attached to it. If the NFT goes to 100 ETH, it could that the coin itself is going to also go up in value and vice versa. So big believer in that. I would also be following Simple Farmer, which again is the founder and the kind of, he's the founder, but he's also like the dev, the kind of the guy building everything as well. It's a really exciting kind of experiment that's going on, and I'm really, really excited about it. I'm excited about it not because I have an NFT and I'm talking my bags, which obviously I am, but it's because I think it can be a big. We're really early. Am I still sharing? No. We're really early on the stockbroker and Robinhood ecosystem, and there's a lot of great narratives kind of coming together in one. Um, Today, Robinhood Crypto, the account, kind of what's it called, Etherscan for Robinhood. They actually built one called Broker Tools, which also has a lot of cool features, like maybe one. Wasn't there one more? What were we talking about? Uh, is there a delay? I think we're good. Art is another one. This is an even better chart setup. You should have. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. I think we're having technical difficulties, but hold on. Hold on. Um, I'm gonna refresh this. If I refresh, do you think it's gonna kick me? That's what I'm saying. Like it's not okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No? Okay, cool. Okay. I think I exited out of trading view. 1 second. But yeah. Sorry guys, we're back. I had a little technical difficulties. But yeah, we're talking about Yard. Uh, Hopefully this should work just fine. Can you see it? Just, is it working? Damn it, dude. Hello. Okay. The music's still on for a few seconds. Just as good as Stockbroker, but even better than Manser. What is this? 10 days of consolidation here. Yard is essentially like a liquidity. It's like the back end of the DEX is like liquidity. I think it's kind of like the 1 inch. They're trying to be like the 1 inch of Robinhood. Like 1 inch is on ETH, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, coin looks really good, under 2 million. I think again, if this even becomes top five liquidity thing, whatever. I am sharing it. I thought. Okay, I don't know. Okay, cool. All right, so again, even better setup here for Yard. Okay, should be good now, right? Should be good now, right? Like I'll see it on a. Okay, well, sorry guys, I don't know what's going on. I can see it on EVMux, so um,
Yeah.
sorry guys, we're having some problems with the thing, but you should be able to see my chart now. Yeah, I think in short, just to close it out, I think Yard, great chart setup. And again, for the first time, like there's actual, most of the time when a big key infrastructure of a chain comes out, there's so many VCs on it. As soon as it comes out, it's at 100 mil with all these people getting these crazy allocations and airdrops. And then by the time you get it, it's at 100, 200 million, and then it dumps 80% if it even goes up. Very rarely the infrastructure, this is the first time where the infrastructure of a chain, at least the one that has a chance to be, started out, again, fair launch. It's this whole theme about launching things fairly on Robinhood Chain. Yard, again, who knows if it becomes the 1 inch of Robinhood? I think has a chance to. And if it does, even if it becomes 20% of that, I think this token is extremely undervalued. And this is something that we could easily, 6 months from now, come back and this thing's at 50, 100 million. So slept on. I would look at this and, this is a $1.6 million coin. So don't throw, your 50% of your port at it or anything. But I think these are coins where you could throw 1, 5, 10% of your portfolio at and just wait and see. And I don't know. I just really believe in this thing. Again, short-term chart setup too, 10 days of consolidation. If it's able to hold above 150, 1.5, I think this thing's going to run. So I really like three coins here, Stockbroker, Yard, and Manser, to where if you're looking at some coins to throw a little bit of your port at, that are low cap, slept on, but also like attached to like key infrastructure or actually like apps that people have the potential. Again, none of this is promised by any means, and that's why the market cap is so low. But let's say this Manser, DEX becomes even the third or fourth biggest, and Robinhood becomes a massive chain. I think this coin is 10, 20, 50x higher than it is right now. Yeah, not too many people are talking about the coins. They're talking about the meme coins and all that stuff, which I think are going to run. But I think the most slept on, like best risk to reward buys right now are in these stockbroker coins, and that's where I've been focusing a lot of my time on. I think high upside, but also very low attention right now, and I think that changes here shortly. So yeah, if you're looking for some coins, Manser, Yard, Stockbroker, look into them. Obviously, don't buy a coin just because I'm talking about it, but I would look into those three, and I'm I'm very bullish on them. You still hear me? Okay, it might be a little delayed, but yeah, while this is loading, coming down here on a Bitcoin. But yeah, if you guys weren't here earlier on in the show, um, market is when you close up the bull market. I'm not even sharing it. We are going to confirm a new bull market. Very likely at that point, 90. If we go above 90, we probably accelerate to 100K pretty quickly. But if we do somehow top out in the 80, 85 region, maybe see another move down to 50, 55K, something like people like Benjamin Cohen and other people are kind of leaning towards. I'm open to that scenario as well. All that would mean is that we wait a little bit longer for, I think, what is an inevitable bull market in 2027, 2028, not just based on, crypto Twitter and everybody being excited, but there's the traditional finance world is all in on moving the entire markets, all the world's markets on chain. Like the best explanation I've heard is that like it won't be crypto in the stock market, it'll just be the market. Like it won't be on-chain stock trading, everything will just be on-chain and on blockchain and using crypto because it's way quicker and way faster and way more efficient and transparent. And yeah, it's just going to be the market, right? Everybody's going to be using crypto rails over the next few years, and I think this is the next bull market that could actually be kind of like I don't want to use the word super cycle, but like an actual cycle that doesn't just last a couple years, but actually pushes for years and decades to come. Not these traditional 4-year cycles that we're used to, right? That we're obviously still in one of the 4-year cycles right now. But yeah, short term, I think Bitcoin, ETH, Sol continue to move down. I think we're, if I had to guess on Bitcoin, we probably see something like this. Kind of a corrective kind of channel-like structure like we often see, where we chop down slowly kind of over the next few weeks, and then something like this, maybe not even the next few weeks, could last a week, could last a few days, really just depends how fast this thing goes. But then I think once we do find that bottom in this correction, however low it might go, I think we eventually move higher again into 80, 82, 83K, which is kind of that crucial level that I was talking about that historically in the past has kind of confirmed a new bull market or kind of confirmed the new move down. So again, this is just based on what I've seen for other corrections. I could kind of zoom out here and show you many, many examples of these kind of lower time frame kind of corrective structures. If we zoom out here, something like this here, this kind of on a higher time frame, but I think all signs on the lower time frame charts is that Bitcoin is kind of beginning one of these bigger kind of chop down over the next few weeks, which I think is very healthy. Anytime you see a big move up and then a slow chop down that takes back maybe 15, 20% of that move, that is very healthy and usually unlocks more upside. Because most of the time when we just go straight up for a couple of weeks, usually it equals just as big to the downside. But these kind of slow, choppy corrections, while they're annoying and kind of hard to gauge and predict when they're going to end, they're kind of necessary and actually really healthy for the market. So this is kind of what I think is going to happen on Bitcoin over the next few weeks, kind of a slow chop down. Expect some people to get bored if this lasts another week or two. But what I'm going to do is buy coins like Manser, buy coins like Yard, buy coins like Stonkbroker. And the game plan, again, I'm going to put out some more videos and kind of show hopefully a guide so people can kind of practice this stuff on their own. But like the goal is, again, like always, buy coins in corrections like this when other people get bored and then take profits on the way up. Like, small, what's it called? Partial profits, I like to call it. So yeah, I would not be surprised if we come back here on Tuesday, which will be the next stream. Tuesdays and Fridays usually at 11:30 a.m. If we come back here on Tuesday and something or at least half of this correction kind of like this is played out, I would not be surprised. Let's see what else. The S&P 500. Let's see. Another good setup if you're trading stocks or maybe you're. Oh, what do you see this, Jesse? Holy shit. I talked about this on last Tuesday's stream. I don't know if you guys saw. Amazon, really bullish on this. Actually placed a small long on Hyperliquid last week. What's it called? On this already. Really bullish on Amazon. Really nice corrective structure. It's already gapped up and moved up about not quite 10% off of that low, but about 5% off of that low. I think Amazon goes way higher. If you're either a stock trader, stock options trader, or you're longing on Hyperliquid, you're a fucking degenerate like me and longing on Hyperliquid, I think this thing's gonna go way higher, make a new all-time high in the next, coming months. Amazon obviously is Amazon, dominates in the, retail and all that stuff, but it's a huge part in AI. They're doing everything. Space. Actually, I don't know. Does Amazon do anything in the actual space, or is it, what's it called? Blue Origin or whatever's. Yeah, I think it's like a separate company though, no? I don't even know. But anyway. Yeah, really bullish on Amazon. Somebody talked about I want to go to the chat. I'm completely neglecting the chat. I know I asked you guys to tell me where you were from and stuff earlier. Let me just do the same thing if you guys are just hopping in. Oh damn, it said it's lagging. I don't know how long I was lagging for you guys. I hope you're able to hear most of it. But if you guys, while I scroll up here, if you guys could please like, comment, share, retweet again. Back to streaming twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, 11:30 a.m. PST. Did it a little bit later today. This week was a little bit later in the day, but we will be back fully to the earlier in the day stream for people in the US. Let me see. Two things. If you guys could please tell me in the chat, I'm going to go and scroll down and read everything right now, where you're tuning in from, and what you think is going to happen over the next few months. Damn, I really neglected the chat here, Jesse, but let's see. First time in stream. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm back. Let me just catch up on here. We got from SF. Everyone thinks that the bull hasn't started, and that's exactly why. I saw that comment earlier. Welcome, brother. You're going to love it. What alts are you most bullish on in the 27 cycle? So alts used to mean just anything other than Bitcoin, and really. But I think you're talking more about non-meme coin stuff. I like stuff like Tau in the AI space. I think most of the stuff in the top 10 is going to do well. I really, believe it or not, like XRP to really go crazy here too. I have like a small long on that, as well as a lot of XRP coin, which I haven't really checked. Yeah, this is also starting a bigger correction. As you guys can see here, I drawn out here, I think on last week's stream, that I think XRP is going to make a bigger correction here. And we are down about 15-20% from the high. But I think just like the other two bear markets, really easy to see if you zoom out. These are the last three bear markets. XRP always corrects super, super hard. I'm talking about the 96% correction in the 18 to 20 bear, 21 to 23 bear, 85% correction. Obviously, they were battling that case. And then even now, starting in 2025, last year, we're down 74% on, or we were from bottom to top on XRP. Right now, we're about, 60% down. But I think just like at the end of these other two bears, XRP is going to rip really hard. And I think this time is going to clearly smash all-time highs. I think XRP goes to $10 plus someday. It has a few really important things in crypto. It has that kind of institutional push a little bit. It's just been in the game for, 5 years now? Even more than that, right? XRP's been in the game, I think technically since like 2015, so 10 years, excuse me. And then it has it has the OG cult community in crypto, right there with Dogecoin before Elon Musk. XRP most cult-like community of people that it's just stayed bullish for the most time, and I'm really bullish on that. So I think this hits $10 eventually. You probably get a nice 5-10x from this eventually if you hold. And what else? I don't know. I think BNB, also another one that's going to obviously rip. Even though Hyperliquid and stuff's going to become more popular, I think BNB also continues to go way higher. So that's just a few of them. What's up, Brody? Says Vnox. My first stream, but loving the analysis. Definitely feeling bullish going forward. Appreciate you, bro. Also, if you guys want to be entered in the giveaway, I'm going to do in the next 15-20 minutes. The stream tweet that I posted in the Telegram channel, as well as just the original stream tweet, I'll be picking randomly from the comments of that stream or that tweet. So just let me know, let me know where you're from in that if you haven't already commented on it. Don't go and spam the post if you already commented on it. But let me know if you haven't already commented on it and you want to be entered in the giveaway. Two things: where you're tuning in from, and if you're bullish or bearish over the next few months. Brent, my thoughts are, what we saw the last cycle was a mid-cycle correction. What we saw last cycle, you're probably referencing something I said 30 minutes ago, and I should have already commented on it, but I'd be curious to know what you meant by that exactly. And I believe we've already started it. Okay, you've already started this real bull market. We'll see something similar to 2021, but better. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm about 50-50. I don't know if the bull market started yet already. I think we're going to be confirmed over the next few weeks either way. But either way, I agree with you, bro. I think everybody says, especially in NFT world, which it's kind of starting to turn around. Like 3 months ago, you would have told anybody this NFT bull market, people would tell you, oh, there's going to be no more bull market in NFTs. It's just whatever. But now even people are always said that it will never be like 2021. It will never be like 2021. And I just beg to differ. It might not be as quick and fast and 1 year of just absolute madness, but I think NFTs and digital collectibles especially have not even started. It's like where the internet was before the internet took off. It's like so early days. So I agree with you. I think this next crypto bull run especially, but probably NFTs as well, is going to be crazier than anything we saw in 2021. They're going to print money just like we saw in COVID, but as well as the world is just way more ready for this kind of thing. Everybody's speculating, trading stocks, has already traded crypto in 2 or 3 different bull markets already. Like, the world's just ready for this type of shit. And I think meme coins, NFTs, crypto, all that shit's going to go crazy, probably all at the same time. That's what people aren't really expecting. So whenever anybody says, oh, it'll never be like 2021. Yeah, of course it'll never be just like 2021. But I think it's going to be probably more popular and more powerful, especially if you start to see people like Elon Musk start to talk about Dogecoin even, and you start to see shit like that. Even that would add even more fuel to the fire, but you don't even need that type of shit. You obviously saw on crypto the other day, I posted in the Telegram channel, which there's still about 15 people still in the Telegram channel. Shout out to you guys. What's it called? You know, Twitter, I think Nikita, he's obviously not with Twitter anymore, or at least not in the same role. He said that they're going to add buy buttons to tweets pretty soon. So you're going to be able to buy crypto straight from, if somebody talks about Sol and you want to buy it from there, what does that mean? Is X going to start their own exchange? Are they going to partner with Robinhood or Coinbase or something? We'll see. But I thought that was super bullish. I think there's so many obvious bullish catalysts over the next few years that, you know, we're probably going to see an even crazier bull run. So, but yeah, Binance Coin, all these things I think chop down over the next few weeks kind of slowly. All-time high this year? I don't know. Probably not, but we'll see. Yeah, what's good, Juicy? Why hood over pump? I think that there's going to be plays on all 3 coins. I'm super bullish on Giga, on Sol. I'm super bullish on a lot of stuff on ETH, but I just think Robinhood is set up to potentially be that. I could see Sol being that same thing, but Robinhood's faster, and it just has that connection to the retail Robinhood app. Yeah, I really like Robinhood because it also is really heavy on the RWA kind of tech front as well. Danny says, Brent, I remember on one of your streams you saying that you don't really like to deal with low caps because it's risky. Yeah, I'm talking super low caps, like 100, 200K. But yeah, just because it's just most coins that small are going to go to zero, 99.9% of them. And I'm just not, especially when we have a Telegram channel with 40,000 people in it. I have a Twitter channel, Twitter with however 20,000. Like, it's just the upside in that for me to post that kind of stuff, like, is not high. I'm not really just trying to pump my bags 2 or 3x and dump on people. There's just no upside in that. I'd rather post stuff that I believe in, that where, yeah, of course, me posting about it could contribute to it going up, but these are coins that are bigger cap that I believe are going to go up over time, and that we can kind of all win together, you know? And again, these coins, the coins I talk about sometimes consolidate and don't do shit for 2 weeks, and then a month sometimes, but then they rip and we kind of can win together type of thing. So yeah, super low caps I don't really fuck with. But with that being said, if you are looking for a lower cap coin, even lower than $1 million, that I think has kind of some staying power, that, you know, doesn't have a lot of hype on it right now, DFlock. You guys have obviously heard of the DFlock cameras, or the that's what they're called, right? The cameras are they flock? They're just flock cameras, right? Yeah, the movement is deflock, right? It's like kind of anti-flock cameras or whatever. But essentially, flock cameras, you look into it, essentially, they're cameras that are in a lot of the country, around a lot of the country in the U.S. and other places in the world, I think, that essentially are at stoplights, a lot of different places, and they track your cars and movements and kind of track the movement of people. And all that stuff is great for, you know, it makes it really hard to get away with murder and all this different stuff. But also it's just a big invasion of privacy, and it's just a lot of people are trying to get these things shut down. So the movement is deflock. I think that those kind of things, especially around the midterm, are going to be in the what's it called, the media a lot and in the spotlight a lot. And I think this coin below $1 million, again, super speculative. Right now I have about 1/4 to 0.5% of this coin. I'm probably going to try to get up to 1%, and just hold that, and probably I'm definitely going to, put out the wallet so everybody could watch it. And I don't have, just to show that I don't have any intention to sell any of this coin until it gets to a much higher market cap, and to sell responsibly. I know there's I just really don't like posting coins under $1 million, because even posting in a stream like this, people watch it back, 10 people buy it. It has a, you know, impact on the coin versus something bigger cap. So if you're going to put it into anything, this is going to be a slow cook, I think. Could take off tomorrow, but I think it's most likely to be a slow cook and has a lot of potential upside. But also there could be a DFlock coin that comes out tomorrow where this thing gets vamped. I have no clue, but I have a lot of belief in the team and a lot of people working around it. So look into this, DFlock on Sol. Again, yeah. Lots of OG memes, caps, never doubt. Yeah, real quickly, the coins that I probably have the most outside of those, you know, other coins we were talking about on the stockbroker thing, SPX 6900, for example, I think this thing is going to absolutely rip back to $1 billion, 1.5, 2 billion, but 5, 10 billion eventually. I think a lot of these movement meme coins are going to be the strongest ones, the ones that form movements, because people like to join and buy whatever of like a funny cat or whatever, but they're more inspired by movement, stuff they feel a part of, something they feel like they can, you know, join, like a movement. That's the best way to put it. SPX 6900 Giga Troll. There'll be a bunch of movements that sprout up, but I think those are going to be the most powerful meme coins, are the ones that are built around movements and ideas and stuff that people feel like they're joining a cult. And I think Murad was always right, but I think he was very early. And I think SPX 6900 goes to fucking 2, 3, 5, 10 million, probably higher. This guy says $1 trillion. I think it's funny. Does it flip the SPX? Does it flip the fucking stock market? Probably fucking not, especially since the S&P 500 has gone up just this year alone. You know, we're looking at, since SPX 6900 has gone down 80%, the S&P 500 has ripped another 15%. And you look at the market cap at $1 billion, and you look at the market cap of the S&P 500, you know, you're looking at Oh, just 70 trillion. So, you know, you're looking at, what is that? A billion to a trillion's 1,000x. You're looking at a 70,000x to flip the stock market. But hey, anything's possible. No, I'm sorry. 70,000. No, my bad. 140,000x. So what is that? Yeah, 140,000. Yeah, 140,000x. No, I'm sorry. It's like a million X or some shit. 100. I don't even know. Hundreds of thousands of X's to flip the stock market. But I think S&P 500 is gonna fucking rip to into the billions. A lot of people are fading this because they're like, oh, it's 500 million. This thing's gonna go to a billion, 2 billion. Why would I buy this when there's stockbroker that's gonna 10, 20x? It's because this thing's gonna rip to 2 billion and it's gonna rip harder and continue higher for a lot of reasons. So S&P 500, Giga hasn't performed as well and it's kind of been really kind of suffered, but it is up. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize, dude, this is Cash Cat. What the fuck? Why did I think Giga 5x? Tell me when I search Cash Cat or Giga, Cash Cat comes up front. Like what? Giga, 25 million. It really fell hard. You know, we're looking at like a 98% fall. But guess what also fell 98% in a bear market? Ethereum did back in 2019. No, but I don't know. I think Giga been consolidating for all year. I think this is another one that rips. If this thing goes back to all-time highs, you're looking at a 40x. But think about how many people are doubting this, and nobody's even talking about this right now. So I don't know. I think this is good for a 10, 20x, to be honest, which sounds crazy. But even just back to here, you're looking at a 3x. I think this goes very conservatively back to 100 million and then probably back to all-time highs. Giga was one of the strongest Colts and kind of movements of the last cycle, and then Giga Chad is one of the most famous memes of all time, timeless meme, and then it's on Coinbase. All these great things. I think Giga Chad, SPX 6900, Troll, which I think this is the Troll, right? Yep. Market cap 49 million. You're gonna tell me Troll's at 49 fucking million, dude? That is so cheap, so free. This thing never went above 245. Yeah, Troll, same kind of thing. Troll meme coin. Troll meme, one of the most famous in the world. Very strong cult on crypto Twitter. Also has NFTs. I'm not going to pull up OpenSea because it's going to slow down my shit. But OpenSea, Troll NFTs, check those out. SPX 6900 Aeons. Those are a little bit more expensive at 0.5. But I think the NFTs, you combine NFTs and meme coins. The meme coin NFTs are going to do extremely well. So again, these are just all alpha that I think is you know, if you have extra cash to throw at stuff, I would look into these meme coin NFTs as well. Troll, Aeons, and which are the SPX 6900 NFT. And then what do we say? Troll, Giga. Giga doesn't have any NFTs. And I don't think they will, but we'll see. Either way, yeah, all great coins I think are going to do really well. Let's try to get through these chat. I'm 40 minutes behind. But community is power. Yeah. Appreciate everybody for commenting. Going to do that giveaway here shortly too. I have a few sold, but mostly in ETH NFTs. Okay. He said, no, I'm not new. Just didn't dive into NFTs that much. Okay. Yeah, I think NFTs and crypto are going to be very intertwined this cycle. You have, again, a lot of these coins that are going to be directly connected to an NFT collection as well. Didn't make a lot of money, but it was a learning experience. Yeah, NFT was a lot of fun in 2021. Damn, it says you guys can't hear me. It's choppy. Okay, this was 30 minutes ago. Probably need to close some old charts. Okay. You're not sharing your screen. Okay, you guys can hear me now, obviously. Actually, an ETH maxi, but Bitcoin defines what happens to altcoins. Yeah, Bitcoin and ETH, yeah. Interested in the guide? Yeah. I believe bull market is just shaping up much, much higher in the next few months. So with DFlock, it seems so underappreciated, but isn't sending. Why do you think that is? I think people are focused on other stuff, memes and other stuff, but I think the DFlock thing is going to catch up, and then people are going to be looking to put money into stuff because of the bull market, and it'll do well. What happened to pension? GameStop? Yeah, we can look at GameStop. Is it Game Stonk? I think it is, right? Yeah, this one got crushed. See, it's like these brand new coins are just so, it could just go either way, right? I don't have anywhere to gauge that. You'd have to be on chain in the Telegram, like really getting a feed for if this thing's going to continue. I'm just not. That's just not my thing. So I couldn't really tell you by the chart alone. There's not enough information for me to fully know. So yeah, I don't really have an opinion on GameStonk. Could be the top. I hope it continues higher if you are in this coin though. But yeah, let's go ahead and check Bitcoin, ETH. I think very likely we could see a kind of a beginning of a correction here that takes Bitcoin down into the mid to low 70s, and then we resume upside. Sorry, mid to low 70s, resume upside into 80K. From there, we'll see what happens. Very, very important level for Bitcoin at 82K. But if you've learned anything from what I've ranted on about over the last 20 minutes, is that important, very crucial level on Bitcoin. But what I mean by that is just really what happens over the next couple months. To me, I'm in this for the 2027, 2028, 2029 bull, whenever it starts, whenever it ends. I'm here for that. If we confirm a new bull market, this thing rips to 100K tomorrow, great. If this thing goes to 55K one more time, there's some kind of midterm turmoil with risk assets, also great. I think just keep in mind 2027, 2028, so many reasons to be bullish. And there's a lot of great coins that are very underlooked, undervalued. And I think this time we're finally going to get a push from new people coming into crypto that will actually be able to sustain a lot of these narratives. So I think 2027, name of the game is to buy and hold great coins during these kind of corrective periods and take profits on the way up. A lot of people do the opposite. They'll wait for a bottom, then they'll buy, and then they'll just sell whenever they feel like it. And I think you've got to have a system, and that's the system that I've seen success with. So I hope you learned that from these streams, from the content that I put out, all that stuff that, especially a guide and all that stuff that you'll be able to watch after these streams. But yeah, name of the game, that's what I've seen success in, both in normal trading, spot coins, but also perps. And then for those of you guys who like to trade the small cap coins, be in and out, more day trader type of game, I think there's going to be a lot of that room for that too. I think that's a harder game, especially if you're new to crypto. I think most people playing that game are going to see the same results as like a kind of slot player, somebody who's sports betting. But just like in sports betting and slots, there's those guys that do extremely well. So, I think the most surefire way is to buy and hold great coins. During periods like this, it takes patience, it takes conviction, it takes knowing what's good and what's not, and what builders are good and what aren't. But doing that is the best way to sustainably make a little bit of money into a lot of money, or just consistently actually produce profits in the market. So yeah. We talked about Yard, Manser, Stockbroker. I think those are great buy and holds over the next couple months. Kind of the way I'm going to handle it. For example, Stockbroker, I'm kind of earning that with my Stockbroker NFT, but I am going to continue to accumulate that under 100 million because I think it runs much, much higher. And in that world, again, I take profits on Stockbroker, at 100, 150, 200 million slowly, while holding some for the long term. That's kind of the name of the game for me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that giveaway. How and when did you learn analysis? I started with Forex back in 2016, but really the biggest thing is two things. Watching charts every single day, you kind of get pattern recognition. The reason why I'm able to tell you, oh, this is why this is going to happen on Bitcoin. Like, I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. I've just seen how corrective structures move, and this is usually how they zoom out. The reason why most people don't see this is because they're zoomed in on the fucking 5-minute chart, right? And they're looking at this small piece, and they're like, oh, what's this going to tell me? Where I really derive and why I think I'm able to be very accurate a lot of times on these chart moves is because I'm looking at the 4-hour daily chart. And again, I can show you so many of these different corrective structures that play out like this and then produce upside. So if you're trying to trade perps, I'd look for Bitcoin to make a few lows. Say it makes 3 lows at 74, 75K, that's where I'd definitely look to get into a long position more heavily, something like this. But yeah, I think Tesla, Apple, a lot of these stocks just look super bullish right now, and I think they're going to rip into 2027, and we're going to have a very bullish year. Obviously, with corrections. Pengu is another one that ripped about only 2x so far, but now it's correcting on the lower time frames. I think Pengu could give us a bigger correction here. Maybe do something like this. But yeah, I think Pengu is going to correct over the next few weeks, very possibly, and then continue ripping higher. And, you know, this is one that you're looking at just back to all-time highs. You're looking at, you know, a 5x. And I think it rips much higher. So, yeah, all these coins I think look great. The reason why I think risk assets, including crypto, another reason why I think it could see a correction later on in the next few weeks is because DXY, the dollar, looks like it's in a very tight correction that I think is going to move higher. And not always, but usually when the DXY is moving up, risk assets are moving down. You can just look at this, 2022, when in risk assets, 2021, DXY went from $90 to $116. This is the biggest bull market we've seen in crypto and NFTs, where everybody was trading crypto, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm sorry. When this happened, this was after the bull market, when it topped out. And this is when Bitcoin went from whatever, 126 down to, I'm sorry, went from 78 all the way down to, what was it, 15K. And then obviously DXY topped out, and then Bitcoin went from 15K all the way up to 126. So we'll see what happens. I think the dollar does probably move up over the next couple of months, which then, if history repeats itself, which it usually, you know, in this way it does, we could see that kind of final push down on Bitcoin, ETH, SOL that I was talking about. Either way, it would just be a waiting game. Really, again, slow chop down over the next few weeks, higher, and then we'll see from there. What is up, Rojam? How you doing? Yeah, always be taking partial profits. Exactly. What's your take on SpaceX? Another good question. So, posted a SpaceX long setup in the Telegram. Again, if you're not in there already, get in the Bossman Calls Telegram channel. That's where I usually post all my like in-depth chart setups first before I post it on Twitter, at least more in depth. We had a long position started, or at least a long setup I posted in the Telegram. I think it was $117 SpaceX. And obviously within a few days shot up all the way to 145, about a 30% run. Where does SpaceX run from here? It's one that has kind of conflicting lower time frame, higher time frame kind of things. I think on the lower time frames, it's very possible that SpaceX kind of tops out because of this kind of corrective structure it has. Again, this structure from the beginning, or I'm sorry, from August 20th until now. So I could see a little bit of move down on SpaceX to create one more low, maybe at 120, 125K. But I think over the next few months, whenever this kind of bull market's confirmed, maybe after midterms or whatever, I think SpaceX moves to all-time highs, guys. Again, infrastructure for AI, space, X is owned by XAI, I believe, right, by SpaceX. Or XAI is at least. X, I think, is a separate thing. Me and my buddy determined. But XAI is part of SpaceX, for sure, I think. And then obviously you have, what's it called? I'm blanking. I'm tired. What's it called, Jesse? What's the internet thing? I'm completely blanking. Starlink. You got a bunch of things in one. I think SpaceX rips way higher over the next few years. That's what the charts are saying. SB Sol ETH, which is again Solana versus ETH, that kind of shows how strong Solana is over ETH over time.
Obviously, ETH has kind of outperformed in this bear market a bit, has kind of peaked out in 2025, but I think is potentially forming a bottom here, and we could see SOL outperform ETH for quite a bit longer here. But I'm just holding a bit of both. So yeah, I think there's a lot of exciting shit going on in Robinhood. If you're watching this video and you're kind of like, what should I be looking at? How do I prepare myself for the next bull market? I think there's a few things. One, set up your portfolio for success. You want to have most of your portfolio in Bitcoin, ETH, SOL, stuff that you believe in for the long term, maybe hyperliquid stuff like that. 50, 60% of that at all times, 20, 10, 20, whatever percentage in the meme coins and the perps at all times. That kind of stuff is more speculative, and then move that into more of the longer term assets. You want to become a very, very good profit taker. A good, successful trader is a good profit taker. That doesn't mean, you can believe in things long term. I'm a big believer in a lot of things long term, but at the same time, I like to take partial profits on that on the way up. So you're kind of having the best of both worlds. You're a long-term believer in great assets, but you're taking partial profits 10, 20, 30, 50% on the way up and holding the rest. Because like we've seen, even the greatest assets, Bitcoin and ETH, make massive corrections. And it's always best to take profits. That's how you compound and use that smaller part of your portfolio to feed into the bigger part, which is the long-term assets. Shorter term stuff into the longer term, and some of that shorter term stuff will turn into longer term stuff, but we're not betting everything that the short term stuff turns into long term stuff. And then, profit taking, and then some of the chart stuff as well, just knowing basic stuff about charts, consolidations, corrections, all that good stuff, which I talk a lot about on streams like this, content, Telegram channel. So make sure you subscribe so you see more of that type of stuff. Follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. So yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons to be bullish, not just this hurrah, perma bullshit that that I'm definitely bullish on, but like also there's a lot of like reasons technologically in the traditional finance world, so many reasons to be bullish. So I think it's just what I was saying, obviously prepare yourself in that way. And then I think the Robinhood chain and these potential ecosystem infrastructure like Stockbroker, obviously, you got Manser, ticker Manser, and then ticker Yard. I think are three strong ones you want to look at, as well as I don't know. It'd be interesting, by the way, a little side note, like to see if Robinhood ever launches their own token, because you see Base, which people are taking your eye off. You might want to farm the Base airdrop too. The Base is going to launch their own token. It'd be pretty nuts if Robinhood launched a token someday. I probably will. So, yeah, let me do that. We're coming up on about an hour, 20 minutes. I appreciate everybody for hanging out on me. Yeah, can you look at Tau, Sui, Near? Yeah, I'll look at those right now. Starlink. Yes, thank you, Rojan. How to get started trading perps. So, yeah, Hyperliquid. I'm not going to pull it up right now because it's going to slow my computer, but I've actually started a Hyperliquid account. I've had Hyperliquid for a while. I have bigger accounts I trade on. But I decided to start a couple weeks ago a Hyperliquid account at $1,200 that I'm going to do a little bit of a challenge on. They're not a gimmick, no sponsorships, none of that, but just an account that I'm going to do a few things on. Trade all the setups that I talk about on, at least the long setups on the majors and other coins that I talk about on stream, on X, and in the Telegram. And also to show people that you can make money on perps without gambling if you have a system and you're kind of calculated. So 1,200 to 120,000 is the challenge. Who knows how long that'll take. We've already taken the account from 1,200 up to about 6. I was at 7K, but I took a small L. So about the count's at about 7,500. I'll post the link here. I'm going to make a post here either today or tomorrow. But who asked this? Jock. I'll go ahead and DM you, or I'll post below here my Hyperliquid link. If you showed me that you signed up from my link, it's completely free, obviously, to sign up. I will send you some personal some resources, some videos that I've made and stuff. So yeah, Hyperliquid, to answer your question though. I appreciate it, brother. Can you look at Sui? Yeah, I'll look at that all in a second. But let me do that giveaway here real quick. Entry piece of thoughts on Chameleon. Let me look at that real quick, bro. And Hyper EVM. A lot of people are wondering, is there going to be a meme coin run on Hyperliquid? I think Robinhood's going to do really well in that realm, but I also think that Hyperliquid has so much money on it that I think it probably does have a meme coin run eventually. So 47, 54 people are commenting on here. I appreciate everybody for being here, for real. Let's see here. Let us see here. Tweet picker. Tweet pick. No, not tweet pick. Tweet picker. X picker, yeah, here it is. All right, so for those of you who don't know, all the giveaways, what I used to do before we had these randomizers, I literally would just go through the comments and randomly scroll and stop on someone, but thank God for technology, because now it is can just do a randomizer through one of these tweet picker apps or websites. And we're picking a winner now. Again, this is going to pick randomly from the comments of that post that I talked about starting about an hour ago. The winner is of the 100 USDC that I will send to you at some point tonight after the stream is Barabillo T. Let's go ahead and check out his profile. Shout out to you. Am I already following you? Let us see. Web3 infrastructure, AI, RWI, blah, blah, blah. Shout out to you. Algeria. You're from Algeria. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. Oh, not sharing your screen, but here you are, Barabillo from Algeria. Shout out to you. 100 USDC coming your way after the stream. Appreciate everybody for participating and hopping on the stream. Again, Tuesdays and Fridays. Back to twice a week for now. May pick that up eventually. But Tuesdays and Fridays for the streams like this. Pretty soon, about to do face cam, all that good stuff. Kind of revamp the streams. A lot of fun stuff coming. A lot of good interviews like we did last year. Great stuff coming as far as the streams. For now, schedule-wise, Tuesdays and Fridays, 11:30 a.m. PST. And then right now, I'm running also for now one Twitter space a week around the NFT/VFriends space. If you've been looking to kind of, one, talk and say what's up, but also learn about NFTs, talk about your favorite community and NFTs and crypto, Web3, whatever. Come say what's up. I do those every Monday at 4 p.m. PST with a lot of other great friends in the NFT/crypto community. So we'd love to hear from you there. Again, those are Monday at 1 p.m. PST. What's it called? Monday at, 4 p.m. Wait, so Monday at 4 p.m. PST for the Twitter space, and then Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. PST. Tuesdays and Fridays. So make sure to turn on post notifications so you don't miss out. Last year, we caught a lot of great plays together. Pump Fun, Pengu, countless, every crypto correction almost we nailed with perps. Learned a lot about a lot of great communities, had a lot of great guests on, but I'm ready to turn that up even more. Met so many great people, connected with so many great people over the last few months during this bear market. I'm excited to get back to the streams and really see where crypto can go in these streams and everything we can go in a run where new people are joining in, because it's been great fucking around with you few degens in crypto in the streams in the chat, but it'd be amazing to see new people come in. And I think this stream, the Telegram, everything, I think I've been learning for 10 or 11 years, and we're well equipped to help a lot of people learn and more importantly, just kind of build a community together. What I really would like, and if someone wants to help me with this other than, my buddy producer helping me, Can't Stop Me Now, is form, I don't know, Jesse, you guys can't hear Jesse in the back, but I know Crypto Twitter is talking about taking away the communities, right? But from my understanding, they're still there. Okay, yeah, they're still there. I'd like to build a Twitter community where we can eventually post and you guys can get notified. Maybe even a group chat, especially for people who, use the Hyperliquid link, all that different stuff. But for now, Tuesdays, Fridays, 11:30 a.m. PST. More guests, more great setups, chart analysis, Q&A, giveaways, all that good stuff, and then Twitter Space, 4 p.m. PST as well. And yeah, like I said, I would just prepare for what I think is going to be a very strong 27, 28. Don't get caught up in the noise over the next few months. The beginning of bull markets is always the most back and forth, people not sure if it started or not, and all this shit, but just have a longer term view of 6 to 12 to 18 months out. And it's really easy to accumulate a lot of these great projects right now, a lot of these great coins, if you ignore the noise. I'm excited. I thought 2023 to 2025 was a lot of fun, but I think it's going to be a lot bigger and a lot more fun if you take the proper steps to separate yourself from everybody else. And again, profit taking, all this different stuff. Stay tuned for the streams of the Telegram, all that's good stuff. We're going to learn all that stuff together. But yeah, Stockbroker, Manser, I think Stockbroker's moving up kind of heavily now. I don't know what's going on, Jesse. But yeah, pumping towards 35K. Very strong bottom here over the last 11 days. Not be surprised. Would not be surprised to see Stockbroker move up pretty hard off this bottom back to all-time highs in the coming weeks. So with that being said, guys, I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. Shout out to my boy Barabilo from Algeria. Again, you can win these giveaways from anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. It again is a random. I'm not just randomly sending it to my friends. So next time, hopefully Dexter come back next time for another giveaway, but as well as, again, I think this information, again, that we're learning together from people in the chat, not just from me yapping, is the real alpha. Giveaways are fun, and it's a good way to drive attention and to kind of get back and, you know, throw a little bit of change your guys' way. But I think the opportunity over the next few years, even if you live in, you know, a third world country, to build an account from 50 to 1,000 to $10,000 just by buying and holding these great projects and having some patience, I think that's the real alpha. And yeah, Bob Barillo, let me know what you do with that $100. I hope you throw it into some good coin and flip that to more. But either way, I hope everybody has a great rest of your day and weekend. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Make sure to follow the Telegram channel. Turn on post notifications, all that good stuff. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Prepare for 27, 28. Don't make any stupid decisions that'll take you out the game. And the best is yet to come. Shout out to Kaush. Shout out to Rojam, who stuck around. Danny. Leap on top. Kaush, Rojam, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Stay safe. And I'll see you on